GPT 5.5 just came out, and this is a very big deal because this is going to be the best model that you are probably going to use for the next 2 months until Google or Anthropic puts out a new model that is even better. Because don't forget, Mythos is not widely accessible right now. Let's cover it. We're going to test it as well at the end of the video. In the last 3 to 4 minutes, you are going to see actual examples of this model, but we are going to get started with the benchmarks and all of the data because this is a very significant release. This is the best model in the world right now, and you should absolutely get to use it, get to know it, because this is super amazing. So let's begin first. This is probably a new model, a new pre-train. It's significantly costlier than GPT 5.4, but overall, it's significantly better on a wide variety of benchmarks. Here we can see on many useful benchmarks such as tool use, browser use, coding, and mathematics. It's better than GPT 5.4 on each one of these. It's also better than the GPT 5.4 Pro and also Opus. Across the board, across its benchmark, it's a lot better. And of course, I'm not even going to speak about Gemini 3.1. That's, of course, a lot worse than GPT 5.5. In terms of model capabilities, this is the first model that reaches artificial intelligence index of 60 at its extra high setting. It's also a lot more compute efficient. It uses a lot less tokens to achieve better performance than GPT 5.4. You see here the dark blue line, this is GPT 5.4, while this white line is GPT 5.5, and here is Opus 4.7, which was released 1 week ago. Like, this model is better and thinks a lot less. The graph is actually not fair to GPT 5.5 because, as you can see, the scaling is very different on this right hand side versus on the left hand side. It's very good at agentic coding. On Terminal Bench 2.0, it's beating GPT 5.4 by quite a mile. On this internal expert software engineering benchmark, again, does exactly the same, thinks a lot less, and performs a lot better. But the biggest part about this model is how they were able to make it work very, very well on tasks that had to do with browser use, making it compute and tool efficient, closing the loop, closing the iteration, making it cheaper and faster. And these two benchmarks show us that these agents become very capable at tasks such as vision. This is amazing. This is incredible to see. However, even though actually that on research projects is also doing a lot better, there is one caveat. This is costing $30 per million tokens of output. It's using a lot of compute for each token. It's a costly model, especially on the API. I'm not going to bore you with even more tasks. As we can see here on coding evaluations on Software Engineering Pro, it's worse than Opus, but it's better on the other two tasks. And in general, very, very capable, very competitive on most of the benchmarks, very efficient in terms of how many tokens it uses to think, which I think is, it's very important. I think that part is very important. And yeah, it's a relatively big step forward. It's 5 to 10% in absolute numbers better than GPT 5.4 on every benchmark that is not very important, that is not saturated. So, yeah, I don't want to really tire you. It seems like it also has a lot better long context window, which probably means that it's going to be better at long tasks and big code bases. On Arc, AGI2 verified, also significant improvement at 85%. But that's pretty significant, I gotta say. Pretty much saturated it. And yeah, let's see what we've done with it on the Codex application. But before we do so, I want to show you this graph that compares GPT 5.5 versus Opus 4.7 and Mythos. Mythos is yet to be publicly released. It's pretty much hidden behind closed doors for big enterprises to secure core software that we use on our everyday lives. So, in general, this model goes head to head with both Opus 4.7 but also with Mythos on most of the benchmarks. Like Mythos, where it's significantly better, is on Software Engineering Bench Pro. That's where the big difference is. On the other benchmarks, including Humanity's last exam, actually, but on the other benchmarks, these models are tied. So on Software Engineering Bench Pro, Mythos is actually indeed a lot better. However, a lot of people have been talking about this benchmark being leaked and models actually memorizing solutions. So probably in the near future, we are not going to be seeing numbers for Software Engineering Bench Pro, and it's going to be completely removed as a core benchmark. We actually, in my opinion, we need new coding benchmarks. Even agentic coding benchmarks like Terminal Bench 2.0 are saturated. We need new stuff, harder stuff, real world stuff. These ones are saturated, leaked, or whatever. We cannot really trust them. But what happened is I tested it out on three different prompts. And with a $20 subscription, my 5 hour window was reduced by 19%, while my weekly window at 97 at like 3%. So even though I used GPT 5.5 at extra high thinking settings, and also you got to factor in that I have the low subscription and this model costs two times more than GPT 5.4, my actual usage was quite low. So let's see what we created. So the first thing that we created is a Flappy Bird clone. This is the game over here, and let's try to play it. We hit play, and finally, a game that is not super hard to play. I didn't expect Codex to make a game that is not hard to play. We died and we see the menus. The animations are great. We can also see small effects, small flares when we hit stuff. We see a nice animation. We see beautiful pipes. I really like how the model understands how to make the game simple enough for players, and we can see that it's very, very smooth, very, very nice. Probably the best Flappy Bird game that was ever one shotted from a model. Even the pipes have amazing quality. Really, really great response. The second thing we created is a transformer teaching web page, and this used 1,500 lines of code. So let's check it out. So this is the website. I gotta be honest with you, I don't like the design. I expected them to improve the design. So this is like the first thing that allows us to simulate how everything looks. One thing that I don't like is that pop up that pops up on the window. So this is like an animation that shows us how fast transformers are versus RNNs. Nothing impressive. This is the position logic where you can understand how attention works. Okay, and you can visualize it here. Relational weights. I've got no idea what this is. Probably something similar. So this is actually attention. This is actually position embeddings. Okay. And finally, the architectural stack. And everything here is getting simulated so you can test it out. Interesting. Okay, so feed forward with changes this. We see the mathematics everywhere. I gotta be very honest with you. I don't feel like the design here is amazing. I really like the approach of simple simulations and animations. I'm not really sure that this is the best response I have seen from a model. In terms of explaining stuff, it's actually really good. But in terms of design and making it accessible to people, maybe not the best thing I have seen. I think this model is yet to be done well for, creating websites. Like the design here is mediocre at best, at least in my opinion. Okay. I want to be very honest with you. Like I don't want to tell you anything that I don't believe in. Okay. So the final thing that we created is this Pokemon Pokédex webpage. So let's check it out. So it created this, and I don't like that it has this bar here. Obviously, front-end design is not something that this model is good at. We see a small animation here. We can click on this and we can see all of the stats and everything here. That looks good. White mode actually works. And okay, that looks good. I mean, that looks very, very good. Probably one of the best designs of like stats pages overall. Neomorphic design is kept. I don't like this sliding bar. It should never existed here. But overall, I gotta say that G5.5 seems like a very capable model. Of course, I'm going to be using it a lot more in the next few days to really understand how good it is, or, how to actually use it performatively. I would highly suggest that you don't use the extra high setting. You probably don't need it for most tasks. Go with a medium, but I really think that you should be using it. Like, it seems very, very capable. One of the best requests I have seen all around. Maybe not for front end, maybe not for that, maybe not for design, but for everything else, it seems very, very solid.